Jinwoo's world stopped. 1 second, he was walking through Gangnam Park on a bright Saturday afternoon. Crystal clear sky overhead, sunlight cutting sharp shadows across the pavement. The next, he saw her, Rose. After a year of silence, a year of unanswered questions, a year of forcing himself not to care. But it wasn't just her that made his breath catch. It was the double stroller in front of her. 2 small faces, identical, round cheeks, dark curls, eyes that looked exactly like his. He froze mid-step, 20 meters away, partially hidden behind a row of perfectly trimmed hedges, his tattooed hand clenched into a fist at his side. The dragon inked along his forearm seemed to coil tighter. Idul, he whispered to himself. Children? Could they really be his? Rose hadn't noticed him yet. She was crouched down, adjusting a tiny shoe on one of the twins, her movements calm and practiced. The sunlight hit her face at an angle, highlighting the exhaustion she tried to hide. She looked thinner, older somehow, but still her. Still the woman who'd walked out of his life without explanation. One of the twins, a little girl, giggled and reached toward her mother's face. Rose smiled, soft and genuine, in a way Jinwoo had never seen her smile before. That smile twisted something in his chest. Behind him, his fiancée Hannah was browsing a luxury storefront window, oblivious. She'd insisted on this outing, a public appearance. Good for his image, she'd said. He was trying to distance himself from the underworld after all, trying to build something legitimate. But now, none of that mattered. Jinwoo? Hannah's voice floated over, sharp and impatient. Are you coming? He didn't turn, didn't answer. Rose stood up, brushing off her knees. That's when she saw him. Her entire body went rigid, the color drained from her face. For 3 seconds, neither of them moved. Then she exhaled slowly, visibly forcing herself to relax. She straightened her shoulders, lifted her chin. Hello, Jinwoo, she said, her voice steady despite the tension radiating off her. It's been a long time. He stepped forward, instinct overriding thought. His eyes darted between her face and the stroller. The twins were staring up at him now, curious and unafraid. One of them smiled, his heart hammered. Rose. His voice came out rougher than intended. Those children. She cut him off with a look, calm but warning. Not here. Are they mine? The words left his mouth before he could stop them. Her jaw tightened. She glanced around the park, scanning for threats, for witnesses, for exits, old habits. He recognized them because he had the same ones. I have to keep them safe, Jinwoo, she said quietly, gripping the stroller handle. You should understand that. I just need to know if it's true. Her eyes met his, dark, guarded, tired. What would you do if they were? The question hung in the air between them like a blade. Before he could answer, Hannah's heels clicked across the pavement behind him. Jinwoo, who are you? She stopped short when she saw Rose. Recognition flashed across her face, followed immediately by something colder, sharper. Oh, Hannah said, her smile tight and false. Rose, I didn't know you were back in Seoul. Rose didn't respond. She adjusted the stroller, angling it slightly away. Hannah's gaze dropped to the twins. Her expression flickered. Confusion, calculation, then thinly veiled alarm. Jinwoo felt the moment shift. The air grew heavier. I need to go, Rose said, already turning the stroller. Enjoy your day. Wait! Jinwoo reached out, but she was already walking away, her pace quick but controlled. One of the twins waved at him over the edge of the stroller, tiny fingers opening and closing, his chest constricted. Hannah stepped closer to him, lowering her voice. Jinwoo, those children. I don't know, he said, though the lie tasted bitter. He did know, somewhere, deep in his bones, he knew. You need to find out. Hannah's tone was no longer soft. Because if they're yours, this changes everything. He finally looked at her, really looked. And for the first time, he saw past the polished exterior, the carefully constructed image. He saw fear, jealousy, control slipping. I'll handle it, he said flatly. How? He didn't answer. Instead, he pulled out his phone and typed a message to Mr. Cho, his most trusted operative. Track the woman who just left the park. Black curly hair, double stroller, twins. I need everything. Where she lives, where she works, who she sees, everything. Start now. He hit send. Across the park, Rose rounded a corner and disappeared into the crowd. But Jin-woo was already 3 steps ahead. Before we continue, pause for just a second. Do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps more people find stories like this. Also, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Now let's continue. Mr. Cho called back within the hour. Jin-woo stood on his penthouse balcony, the city sprawling beneath him in a grid of glass and steel. The late afternoon sun painted everything gold, but he barely noticed. She's renting a small apartment in Mapo, Mr. Cho reported, his voice crisp through the phone. 3rd floor, no elevator. Works remotely as a translator, Korean, English, French, no male visitors, no family contact. She's been back in Seoul for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Jin-woo's grip tightened on the railing. And I'm just finding out now? She's been careful, keeps a low profile, doesn't use social media, pays everything in cash when possible. Smart. That was always Rose's way. Anticipate, adapt, disappear. What about the children? Twins, girls, approximately 10 months old. No father listed on any documentation I could access. She handles everything alone. Grocery delivery, online work, rarely leaves the apartment except for necessities. 10 months. Jin-woo did the math instantly. It lined up perfectly. I want photos, surveillance, but keep distance. If she sees you, she'll run. Understood. The line went dead. Jin-woo stared at the horizon, his mind racing through possibilities, through consequences. If those children were his, everything shifted. His carefully constructed exit from the underworld, his engagement to Hana, his reputation, his future. But beneath the cold strategy, something else stirred, something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Rose locked the apartment door behind her and sagged against it, heart still pounding from the encounter. The twins babbled in their playpen, oblivious to the storm brewing around them. She'd prepared for this, mentally rehearsed the moment she might run into Jin-woo again. Seoul was big, but not big enough to hide forever. Still, seeing him, really seeing him, standing there in the sunlight with that same intensity in his eyes, had nearly broken her composure, and Hana, of course Hana was there. Rose moved to the window, peering through the thin curtain at the street below. Nothing unusual, no black cars idling, no men in suits pretending to read newspapers. Not yet. But they would come. Jin-woo wasn't the type to let questions go unanswered. One of the twins, Mia, started fussing. Rose scooped her up, pressing a kiss to her forehead. Just another day, she whispered, more to herself than to her daughter. We can handle this. Mia grabbed a fistful of Rose's hair and tugged, giggling. Rose winced, gently prying the tiny fingers loose. For a moment, she let herself breathe, let herself pretend this was just a normal evening. Dinner to prepare, baths to give, stories to read. Normal. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. Her stomach dropped. She let it ring out. Waited. No voicemail. Then a text arrived. We should talk. Properly. You owe me that much. No name, but she knew the number now. Recognized the directness. Jin-woo. She deleted the message without responding. The next morning, Rose arrived at the small co-working space she used twice a week for video calls with clients. The twins were with a babysitter, an older woman from the neighborhood who asked no questions and accepted cash. Rose was halfway through translating a legal document when the door opened. Hana walked in, not rushed, not aggressive, just present, wearing a designer coat and heels that clicked against the floor with measured precision. Rose's fingers froze over her keyboard. Rose. Hana smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I thought we should have a conversation, woman to woman. I'm working. This won't take long. Hana pulled out the chair across from her and sat, uninvited. She folded her hands on the table, nails perfectly manicured, diamonds glinting under the overhead lights. The contrast was deliberate, calculated. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish by coming back here, Hana continued, her voice soft but edged with steel. But I need you to understand something. Jin-woo has moved on. He's building a legitimate life, a clean life. And I'm part of that future. Rose met her gaze, unflinching. I'm not here for Jin-woo. Then why are you here? That's none of your business. Hana's smile tightened. She leaned forward slightly, lowering her voice. Those children, they complicate things. And complications have a way of disappearing when they become inconvenient. Rose's blood turned to ice. Are you threatening my daughters? I'm giving you advice. Hannah stood, smoothing her coat. Remember, Rose, some choices have consequences. You should know your place. Rose rose to her feet, her voice deadly calm. I've learned to survive, Hannah. I'm not afraid of you. For a moment, something flickered in Hannah's expression. Uncertainty, maybe even fear. Then it was gone, replaced by cold composure. You should be. Hannah turned and walked out, heels echoing down the hallway. Rose sat back down, hands trembling. She closed her laptop, packed her things, and left immediately. Outside, she scanned the street, bright midday sun, sharp shadows, pedestrians moving in both directions. And there, half a block away, a man in a dark jacket, watching, not hiding it. Jin Woo's surveillance. She pulled out her phone and called the babysitter. I'm coming home early. Keep the doors locked until I get there. The walk back felt like miles. The envelope arrived 3 days later. Rose found it slipped under her apartment door when she came back from the convenience store, both twins strapped to her chest in carriers. She stared at it for a long moment before setting down her bags and picking it up. No return address, no postage, hand-delivered. Her fingers shook as she tore it open. Inside was a photograph, old, faded at the edges. Her and Jin Woo, 2 years ago, at a private restaurant in Itaewon, his arm around her waist, her laughing at something he'd said. They looked happy, reckless, young. Beneath the photo, a note in printed text. Some things should stay buried. Rose crumpled the paper in her fist, pulse hammering in her ears. She checked the peephole, the windows, the locks, everything secure. But the message was clear. Someone wanted her gone, and they knew where she lived. By the end of the week, the pressure intensified. Her babysitter called Tuesday morning, voice apologetic but firm. I'm sorry, Rose. I can't watch the girls anymore. Family emergency. Rose knew a lie when she heard one. Did someone approach you? Silence on the other end. Then quietly, I have grandchildren of my own. I can't get involved. The line went dead. Wednesday, her landlord knocked on her door. Gruff, uncomfortable. I need you out by the end of the month. Building's being renovated. There's no construction notice posted. New policy, non-negotiable. He wouldn't meet her eyes. Rose closed the door and leaned against it, mind racing. 2 incidents in 2 days. Not coincidence, not random, orchestrated. She picked up Mia, who was chewing on a fabric book, and pulled Lily close with her other arm. The twins cooed, oblivious to the danger circling tighter. Stay close to me, Visasia Westbrook added, kissing each of their heads. We'll be okay. But the words felt hollow. Jin Woo stared at the DNA test kit on his desk. Simple, discreet. All he needed was a sample, a strand of hair, saliva from a pacifier, anything. Mr. Cho had already obtained what was necessary during a routine trash collection outside Rose's building. The sample was en route to a private lab. Results in 48 hours. But the waiting gnawed at him. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling window of his office, the city lights beginning to flicker on as dusk settled over Seoul. From this height, everything looked orderly, controlled. Nothing felt controlled. His phone buzzed. Hannah, dinner tonight? We need to discuss the foundation gala. He ignored it. Another message. It says Cho's this time. Incident at subject's building. Landlord issued eviction notice. Babysitter terminated services. Tracing origin of pressure now. Jin Woo's jaw clenched. He hadn't ordered this, which meant someone else was moving pieces on the board. He typed back. Find out who. Now. Then he made another call. Double surveillance on Rose. If anyone approaches her or the children, I want to know immediately. Understood, boss. He hung up and poured himself a drink. Whiskey, neat. The burn steadied him. If those children were his, no one would touch them. No one. Rose was halfway across the crosswalk when she heard the engine rever. She'd just picked up diapers from the pharmacy, the twins bundled in their stroller, the afternoon sun beating down on the crowded street. Bright, clear. Too many witnesses for anything to happen. That's what she thought. The black sedan came from nowhere, accelerating hard from a side street. No headlights, no warning, straight toward her. Time fractured. Rose saw the hood growing larger, heard someone scream. Her body moved on pure instinct. She yanked the stroller backward with everything she had, stumbling, falling hard onto the pavement. The car missed them by inches. Tires screeched, the stroller tipped, and Lily's pacifier tumbled onto the asphalt. Rose's breath came in ragged gasps. Her palms were scraped raw. But the twins, she scrambled to them, hands shaking, checking for injuries. Mia was crying. Lily looked stunned but unhurt. People rushed over, voices overlapped. "Are you okay? Did you see that car? Someone call the police!" Rose gathered both girls into her arms, ignoring the pain in her hands, and pushed through the crowd. She needed to move, needed to get them somewhere safe. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out with trembling fingers. "Jinwoo, where are you? Are you hurt?" She stopped walking. How did he know? Another message. "I'm watching the footage now. Don't go home. I'm sending a car. Footage. Surveillance." He'd been watching her all along. Rose's vision blurred with tears, frustration, fear, exhaustion, all crashing down at once. She wanted to throw the phone, wanted to scream at him for inserting himself back into her life. But she also wanted to survive. And right now, survival meant accepting help from the one man she'd spent a year trying to forget, a black SUV pulled up beside her, the window rolled down. Mr. Cho, expressionless behind dark glasses. "Miss Rose, please get in." She hesitated, clutching her daughters tighter. "Jinwoo's orders. You're not safe on the street." She looked around. The crowd had dispersed. The sedan was long gone. No witnesses, no protection. She climbed into the SUV. The door closed with a heavy thunk, sealing her inside. Mr. Cho pulled into traffic without a word, and Rose watched her apartment building disappear in the side mirror. Whatever came next, there was no going back. The safe house was in Seongbuk-dong, tucked behind high walls and older trees that blocked most of the street view. Modern but understated, the kind of place that didn't attract attention. Mr. Cho led Rose inside without ceremony. The interior was sparse, clean lines, minimal furniture, large windows that let in slanted evening light. Warm, almost peaceful. Rose set the twins down on a plush rug. They immediately started exploring, crawling toward a low bookshelf. "There's food in the kitchen, clothes in the bedroom. Anything you need, call this number." Mr. Cho handed her a card with a single phone line printed on it. "Jinwoo will be here within the hour." "I didn't agree to see him." Mr. Cho's expression didn't change. "You got in the car." He left before she could respond. Rose sank onto the couch, adrenaline finally draining from her system. Her hands still trembled. She looked down at her scraped palms. The blood dried now, and felt the weight of everything crashing. Down. Someone had tried to kill her, in broad daylight, with her children right there. Mia crawled over and pulled herself up using Rose's knee, babbling softly. Rose lifted her into her lap, then reached for Lily, holding them both close. Their warmth, their weight, it grounded her. "We're okay," she whispered. "We're okay, but for how long?" Jinwoo arrived as the last traces of sunlight faded into deep blue dusk. He let himself in with a key, moving quietly through the space until he found them. Rose was on the floor with the twins, building a tower of soft blocks. Mia knocked it down, squealing with delight. Lily clapped her hands. Rose looked up when she heard him. Her expression was guarded, exhausted. "They're beautiful," Jinwoo said, his voice rougher than he intended. "Thank you for the safe house." Rose's tone was neutral, careful. "But we can't stay here." "You can. You will." He stepped closer, crouching down to their eye level. "That wasn't random. Rose, that car was waiting for you. Someone paid for that hit." Her jaw tightened. "I know." "Then you know you can't go back to your apartment, or anywhere predictable." One of the twins, Mia, he thought, based on the tiny birthmark near her ear, crawled toward him. She stopped a foot away, studying him with curious dark eyes. His heart seized. "Can I?" He gestured toward her. Rose hesitated, then nodded once. Jinwoo reached out slowly, letting Mia come to him. She grabbed his finger, her grip surprisingly strong, and pulled herself forward until she was practically in his lap. She patted his chest with her small hand, then looked up at him and smiled. Something inside him shattered and reformed all at once. "She likes you," Rose said quietly. "Are they mine?" The question hung between them, unavoidable now. Rose looked away, toward the window where the city lights were beginning to glow. "Does it matter?" "Yes." "Why? So you can claim them? Put them in danger by association?" "So I can protect them." His voice was steel. so I can make sure what happened today never happens again. Rose met his eyes. You think you can protect us from your world? From the people you've spent years making enemies of? I'm not that man anymore. Aren't you? She gestured toward the safe house, the surveillance, the armed security he'd undoubtedly stationed outside. You're still controlling everything, still pulling strings. Because someone tried to kill you. His voice rose, startling Lily, who started to whimper. Rose immediately scooped her up, soothing her with soft sounds. Jin-woo forced himself to breathe, forced calm back into his voice. I need to know, Rose. Are they mine? She looked at him for a long moment, something complicated passing across her face. Pain, resignation, fear. Yes, the word hit him like a bullet. They're yours, Jin-woo. Both of them. The world tilted. He looked down at Mia, still clutching his finger, drool on, her chin, completely trusting. Then at Lily and Rose's arms, watching him with the same eyes he saw in the mirror every morning. His daughters. Why didn't you tell me? His voice came out broken. Because I was protecting them. From exactly this. Rose gestured to everything, the safe house, the danger, the chaos. I didn't want them born into your life, into violence and threats and constant looking over our shoulders. So you ran. So I survived. Her eyes blazed now. I gave them a chance at something normal, something safe, and it worked until I saw you in the park. She nodded. Jin-woo sat back on his heels, processing. A year. He'd had daughters for a year and never knew, never held them, never heard their first sounds or saw their first smiles. The anger came sharp and hot. You had no right. I had every right, Rose's voice cracked. You were engaged to Hana when I found out I was pregnant, building your legitimate empire. I wasn't going to be the complication that ruined your clean exit. That wasn't your choice to make, and it wasn't yours to take from me. They stared at each other, years of unspoken hurt and anger finally surfacing. Mia, oblivious, crawled away toward a stuffed toy near the bookshelf. Jin-woo ran a hand through his hair, forcing himself to focus. Hana knows about them. Rose went pale. What? She saw you at the park, she knows they exist, and she's scared of what it means. Scared enough to arrange a hit? The thought had already crossed his mind. Hana had connections, resources, and motive. I don't know yet, but I will. He pulled out his phone, typing rapidly. Mr. Cho is tracing the car, the driver, the money trail. If it leads back to her... What will you do? He looked up, his expression dark. Whatever's necessary. Mr. Cho's call came at dawn. Jin-woo was awake already, sitting in the safe house living room with his second cup of coffee. He'd stayed the night, sleeping, barely, on the couch while Rose and the twins took the bedroom. Talk, he said into the phone. The driver was a contract hire, low level, but the payment came from an account linked to Park Industries. Jin-woo's blood went cold. Park Industries was Hana's family company. You're certain? 3 shell companies deep, but yes, I'm certain. He ended the call and sat in the dim, pre-dawn light, his thoughts crystallizing into something sharp and final. Hana had crossed a line, not just against him, against his children. There was no coming back from that. By mid-morning, Jin-woo had arranged everything. A new apartment under a false name, security team rotating in 8-hour shifts, financial accounts Rose could access independently, and a meeting with Hana. Rose emerged from the bedroom carrying Lily, Mia, toddling behind her. The morning sun streamed through the windows, bathing everything in clear, bright light. You're leaving, Rose said. Not a question. I have something to handle. Hana. He nodded. Rose shifted Lily to her other hip. Don't do anything that makes you the monster she probably told everyone you are. She tried to kill you. And if you kill her, you prove her right. You prove that you're still the same man I ran from. Rose's voice was steady, but her eyes held something else. Plea, hope. The twins deserve better than that version of you. Jin-woo looked at his daughters. Mia had found her way to his leg, hugging it like a tree trunk. Lily was watching him over Rose's shoulder, one tiny hand clutching her mother's shirt. I'm not going to kill her, he said finally. But she's done. Completely. Rose nodded slowly. Then do what you need to do. We'll be here when you get back. The words settled something in his chest. We'll be here. He leaned down and kissed the top of Mia's head, then reached out and touched Lily's cheek with his finger. She grabbed it, her grip fierce. I'll be back before dinner. Hana was at her office in Gangnam, 73rd floor, with a view that stretched to the Han River. Jin Woo walked past her assistant without announcing himself, pushing open the glass door. She looked up from her desk, surprise flickering across her face, before smoothing into composure. Jin Woo, I wasn't expecting you. No, you were expecting me to never find out. He closed the door behind him and stood in the center of the room. No theatrics, no raised voice, just cold, absolute certainty. Hana set down her pen. Find out what? Park Industries, the shell accounts, the contract driver. He watched her expression shift, denial, calculation, then resignation. You paid someone to run Rose off the road, with my daughters in the stroller. She stood, circling around the desk. The morning light caught the diamond on her finger, his ring. They were going to ruin everything, she said, her voice tight. Your reputation, your future, our plans. I couldn't let some mistake from your past destroy what we've built. They're not a mistake. They're my children. They're leverage! Hana's composure cracked. Do you know what the board would say if they knew? What your competitors would do with that information? A mafia boss with illegitimate twins? You'd never escape your past. I'm not trying to escape it anymore. He pulled the engagement ring from his pocket and set it on her desk. We're done. The engagement. The business partnerships. All of it. Hana stared at the ring, her face draining of color. You're throwing away everything for her? For them? I'm choosing them. There's a difference. Jin Woo, please! She reached for him, but he stepped back. I have documentation, records of the payment, the driver's testimony. His voice dropped lower, more dangerous. If anything happens to Rose or my daughters, anything at all, those documents go to the prosecutors. Your family's company will be investigated for attempted murder. Your father will see the inside of a courtroom. Hana's hand fell to her side. You'd destroy my family. You tried to destroy mine. The silence stretched between them, broken only by the hum of the city below. Finally, Hana straightened her shoulders, rebuilding her composure brick by brick. Fine, you want to play father? Go ahead, but don't come back when you realize how exhausting it is, how limiting. I won't. He turned and walked to the door. She'll leave you again, Hana called after him. Rose, she'll run the moment she feels trapped. That's what she does. Jinwoo paused, hand on the door handle. Maybe, but that's her choice to make, not yours, not mine. He left without looking back. When he returned to the safe house, the afternoon light was golden and warm, pouring through the window in shafts that caught, dust motes floating through the air. Rose was on the floor again, playing with the twins. She looked up when he entered, searching his face. It's done, he said simply. She's out of our lives. Rose exhaled, relief visible in the way her shoulders dropped. No violence? No violence. Mia saw him and shrieked with delight, crawling over as fast as her little limbs would carry her. Jinwoo scooped her up, and she immediately grabbed his nose, giggling. She's been asking for you all day, Rose said softly. Well, her version of asking. Lots of pointing at the door and babbling da-da-da. His heart clenched. She said that? I didn't teach her, but yeah. Rose smiled, tentative but real. She did. Jinwoo sat down on the floor beside them, still holding Mia. Lily crawled into his lap without hesitation, settling in like she belonged there, like they all belonged there. I know I don't deserve this, he said quietly. A second chance. Time with them, with you. No, Rose agreed. You don't. He looked up, meeting her eyes. But maybe we can build something new, something that isn't about what we had before. She reached out and touched Lily's hair. For them. For them, he echoed. Outside, the city continued its relentless rhythm. But here, in this moment, everything was still. 3 weeks passed before Rose agreed to meet him at the park. The same park where everything had started. Full circle, Jinwoo arrived first, choosing a bench near the fountain where water cascaded over smooth stones. The late afternoon sun was beginning its descent, casting everything in that particular golden light that made Seoul look softer than it actually was. He'd spent those 3 weeks proving himself in small ways. Groceries delivered without being asked, a pediatrician on call 24 hours, new toys that appeared at the apartment, nothing extravagant, just thoughtful. A musical mobile for Mia, who loved sounds, board books for Lily, who was obsessed with pictures. He didn't push for more time than Rose offered, didn't demand access or claim parental rights through lawyers. He simply showed up, consistently, patiently, the way love was supposed to work. Rose appeared at the edge of the pathway, the twins in their stroller. She wore a simple dress, her hair pulled back, and for a moment Jinwoo forgot to breathe. She looked like herself again, not the exhausted, hunted version from weeks ago, just Rose. She pushed the stroller toward him, and he stood uncertain whether to help or stay back. "They've been asking about you," Rose said, stopping a few feet away. Or their version of asking. Mia keeps saying Appa now. Jinwoo's throat tightened. Appa. Dad. "Can I?" She nodded. He unbuckled Mia first, lifting her out. She immediately wrapped her arms around his neck and he held her close, breathing in that distinct baby smell. Milk and soap and something indefinably sweet. Lily reached up, making grabby hands. He settled Mia on one hip and lifted Lily with the other arm. The weight of them, the trust in their small bodies against his, it overwhelmed him. "I've been thinking," Rose said, sitting down on the bench. Jinwoo sat beside her, the twins content in his arms. "About what you said, about building something new." And she watched a couple walk past, hand in hand, before continuing. "I spent a year believing the best thing I could do for them was keep them away from you, from your world. I thought protection meant distance. You weren't wrong. Wasn't I?" She turned to look at him. "Because the moment danger found us anyway, you were the one who saved us. You were the one with resources, connections, the ability to actually keep us safe. That doesn't mean—" "Let me finish." Her voice was gentle but firm. "I've been so focused on what you were that I didn't see what you're trying to become, the businesses you've legitimized, the operations you've shut down, the therapy you've been going to." Jinwoo stiffened. "How did you—" "Mr. Cho talks more than he thinks he does." A small smile touched her lips. "And before you get mad at him, I'm glad he told me. It matters." Mia squirmed, wanting down. Jinwoo set both twins on the grass, where they immediately started pulling at blades and examining, tiny pebbles with intense concentration. "I can't promise I'll never be afraid, man," Rose continued, "or that I won't second-guess this, but I want to try, really try, to build something that isn't running away or hiding or pretending the past doesn't exist." "What does that look like?" "I don't know yet." She watched the twins, Lily attempting to crawl toward the fountain. Jinwoo gently redirected her. "Maybe it starts with co-parenting, actual conversations about schedules and decisions and who they'll spend holidays with." "I want more than that." "I know." She finally looked at him fully. "So do I, but trust isn't given, Jinwoo. It's earned. Slowly, over time. Through actions, not words." "Saranjun gidarinda," he said quietly. "Love waits." "Gurigo jungmyeonghanda," she finished, "and proves itself." They sat in comfortable silence, watching Mia try to stand by, gripping the edge of the bench. She wobbled, fell onto her bottom, tried again. "She's stubborn," Rose observed. "Wonder where she gets that?" Rose laughed, actually laughed, and the sound loosened something in Jinwoo's chest that had been clenched tight for months. Lily crawled over and pulled herself up, using Jinwoo's knee. She looked up at him, her expression serious, then patted his face with both hands. "She does that when she's deciding if she likes someone," Rose said. "What's the verdict?" Lily smiled, then climbed into his lap and settled in, resting her head against his chest. "I think that's a yes." The sun dropped lower, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. Other families started leaving the park, children being called home for dinner, strollers navigating the pathways toward exits. But Jinwoo, Rose, and the twins stayed. "I cleared my schedule tomorrow," Jinwoo said, "if you want help with them, or if you just need a break." "Tomorrow's their pediatrician appointment. Vaccinations." "I know, I have it in my calendar." Rose's eyes widened slightly. "You want to come?" "If you'll let me." She considered this, then nodded. "Okay." But you're dealing with Mia's crying after the shots. She's loud. I can handle loud. We'll see. Mia toddled back over, bringing a leaf she'd found. She presented it to Jinwoo like a precious gift. Thank you, he said seriously, accepting it. It's beautiful. Mia beamed, then turned and toddled toward Rose, chattering in her own language. I don't know if this will work, Rose said quietly. Us. This family we're trying to create. Neither do I. Jinwoo shifted Lily in his arms. But I'm willing to find out, for as long as you'll let me. Rose reached over and took his free hand. Her fingers were warm, solid, real. Then let's find out together. Above them, the sky continued darkening into deep blue, stars beginning to emerge one by one. The fountain's water caught the last light, sparkling like scattered diamonds. And for the first time in a year, Jinwoo felt something he'd almost forgotten existed: peace. Would you have given Jinwoo a second chance? Let us know below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this story. Thank you for watching.